Good morning. Am I audible to all of you? Okay. So this is the XAT 2018 retest paper. In XAT, two papers in 2018, two XAT papers were conducted because there were some centers where there was some trouble. So this is the retest paper of XAT 2018. You have 1 hour. Try to solve all the questions. So around 10:30, 10:35, we will start the discussion of all these. I think there are 26 questions, all these 26 questions. Okay, please start. I have given you the rights. 10:30, 10:35 is going to be the time. Okay, I think we should discuss now. That is sufficient time. So there were 26 questions in all. Let's see one by one. First of all, we have question number 1, 2, 3 based on this passage where he is trying to tell you that problems, he tells you that problems can be of two kinds. One, problems can either be tame or they can be wicked. Then he tells you what kind of problems are wicked problems. Wicked problems are those that are ambiguous and they are incorrigible. Incorrigible means you cannot find the solution, you cannot correct them. And no matter how much you try, you will not be able to delineate the boundaries and identify their causes. Okay, so these kind of problems are called wicked problems. Tame problems, they are just plain Jane problems, simple problems that are very well defined. They are just like puzzles and they have very little uncertainty around them. So these are two kinds of problems. Now he's telling you that strategists, the problem is that strategists are now facing more and more of wicked problems because we are living in an increasingly complex environment. Okay, so it has become so complex that almost every problem seems to be a wicked problem now. Now we are living in the age of the Anthropocene. Anthropocene means what? Anthro means mankind. So it is an age where mankind, excuse me, where mankind is having an impact. Humans are leaving their impact. So in this age of the Anthropocene, organizations, what people do, the problems are life altering, they are intractable, and they cannot be ignored. So the kind of problems we are facing in this age, dominated by humans, they are life altering and intractable, and they cannot be ignored. Then he goes on to tell you that organizations have to learn to operate within the limits of planetary boundaries. That means we should not go beyond what nature allows us to go. So the problem becomes wicked because there is an inherent difficulty to balance the immediate and the evolutionary timescale. Now, over here, when he's using these expressions, there is a difficulty because we need to balance the immediate and the evolutionary timescale. Over here, the implication is not that he's talking about present time and future time. What does he mean here? That we have to balance the immediate and the evolutionary timescale. What he's trying to say over here is that lots of things are happening, okay, that are very complex. We have to manage within the boundaries that nature has put against us. So there are lots of things that are normal. There are lots of things that are abnormal. Now, what is normal? What is abnormal? That is very difficult to balance. Okay, till what extent we let the sea levels rise? What is normal? Till what extent we stop global warming? What are the what till what extent diminishing CO2 emissions is going to help in a decrease in global warming? What is normal? What is abnormal? This becomes very difficult. So organizations are they have not yet delineated the issue. They don't know how the solutions will contribute. So we simply do not know. We simply do not know to what extent corporate greening will actually contribute to ecological sustainability, or whether it will do it at all. But we all know that climate change is something which is affecting us at various levels. Okay, so this becomes difficult. It becomes difficult because there are so many things happening over which that are so complex that we don't understand. And in fact, we have seen that sometimes local events can have impact on a global scale. He gives you an example of the eruption of a volcano, which actually disrupted everything worldwide. So that is why events such as these, they have a socio-economic impact on both business and people. So any problem which is at the societal level is a wicked problem. That is what he's trying to say. Anything you did not understand? Okay. Now, based on this, he's asking you which of the following can be termed as a wicked problem. So, what do you think? What is a wicked problem? Anything that affects us on a societal level. So, I think answer for this question should be C. Yes. Assessing consequences of artificial intelligence on human relations. Absolutely. Absolutely. Answer should be C for question number one. For question number two, Anthropocene in the paragraph means what? It's but obvious that Anthropocene means the present world dominated by humans. Absolutely. Number D. Now, this question was tricky. Immediate and evolutionary in the passage is closest in meaning to. I think most of you must have marked number A as the answer. But what he's trying to say is that it becomes very difficult to find out what is what is abnormal and what is normal. Answer for this question should be C. Answer for this question should be C. I know most of you believe that it should be present and future, but no, it is not very future. He is not talking about present and future. The difficulty is how do we know that things which are happening, they are normal and there is no complexity? And how do we know that things that are happening, they are abnormal and they have complexity? That is something very difficult for us to manage or to understand. And that is why the strategists have a problem. So answer for this question, the best answer for this question is number C. Okay. Immediate and evolutionary do not mean local and global, Damini. He's just saying that local events can have global impact. That does not mean that immediate and evolutionary respectively means local and global. Coming to the next passage where we have question 4 to 7. Now, from question 4 to 7, what he's saying is that when you look at the orthodox approach to biology, then we find a mechanistic theory of life. Everything is explained in a mechanical way. Everything is explained in terms of physics and chemistry. Okay, that is how biology works, right? So what happens is that biology actually provides a framework within which questions about the physico-chemical mechanisms of life processes can be asked and answered. So what is the approach of biology? The approach of biology is to use physics and chemistry. Through physics and chemistry, they try to answer lots of questions. And in fact, through this approach, there has been spectacular successes because we have cracked the genetic code using physics and chemistry. Now, even though this is the approach, even though this is the ongoing approach, the orthodox approach, there have been many critics, many people, they say, how can you describe all the phenomena of life, including human behavior, entirely mechanistically? How can you describe everything, all the phenomena of life, including human behavior, in terms of physics and chemistry? Many critics have raised this objection. But the author says that even though they have raised this objection, it is very unlikely that the mechanistic approach is going to be abandoned. Why? Why the mechanistic approach is not going to be abandoned? Because there are no alternatives. Because there is absence of positive alternatives capable of going beyond the mechanistic theory. So we don't have any alternative theory which is actually which is very substantial. Okay, so what he's trying to say is that if you want to modify the mechanistic theory, then you should prove that the phenomena of life depends on a new type of causal factor which is unknown to the physical sciences and which interacts with physico-chemical processes within living organisms. Okay, but but no approach has been able to do this. If any theory comes up, it will have to tell us that there is some kind of a new causal factor, and we will have to test it. We will have to test that theory. But as of now, such theory is not there. No such theory is there. So whatever new theory comes up, we will have to test it, because if we want to give the scientific status to a theory, then it is very important that it should be tested, it should be refuted, it should be falsified. These are the three pillars, not three pillars, they are the same thing. It is through falsifiability, refutability, or testability that we come to know whether a theory will stand or not stand. So whenever any new theory comes up, we will have to judge it from this angle. But if we actually look at it, then till now, whatever theories we have, they have all failed. They have all failed. So it is a mechanistic theory which is surviving till now. The new theories that are called vitalism, they have failed to qualify. We have not been able to test them. Okay. Then he tells you, however, there is a radical way in which some people view the mechanistic theory. So now it is the same theory, mechanistic theory, but now it is being radically revised. Okay, so we are not doing away with the mechanistic theory. We are revising the mechanistic theory, and there's a new approach, and this approach is called the organismic or holistic philosophy. Okay, so what does this philosophy do? This philosophy denies that everything in the universe can be explained from the bottom up. Okay, it denies, it does not accept that you can explain everything in terms of properties of subatomic particles, atoms, or even molecules. Rather, what it does, rather, this theory, this new philosophy, this radical revision, it actually recognizes the existence of hierarchically organized systems that at each level of complexity possesses properties that cannot be fully understood in terms of the properties exhibited by their parts in isolation from each other. So, what kind of revision is happening in the mechanistic theory? In the mechanistic theory, and instead of now looking at particles, atoms, and molecules, now the radical revision which is happening is that now we look at things as a whole, because at each level the whole is more than the sum of its parts. These holes can be anything. They can be animals, plants, organs, tissues, cells, crystals, molecules, atoms, subatomic particles. So this is the kind of revision. This is the kind of revision which is happening in the mechanistic theory. So we are not exactly, doing away with the mechanistic theory. There is a radical revision. Okay. So what, in effect, this philosophy is proposing a change from the paradigm of the machine. So instead of considering human beings as machines, we are considering human beings as organisms now. Okay, organisms in the biological and the physical sciences. So instead of considering humans as machines where there are physical and chemical reactions, now we consider living organisms or human beings as organisms. This is what he's trying to say. Anything that you did not understand, anything which requires clarification here? Okay, based on this question, after that, there's one more. What he's saying? He's saying that there is the most important organismic concept. Okay, the most important organismic concept is the morphogenetic field. Now, what happens in the morphogenetic field? Morphogenetic fields, they help you understand about embryos and other developing systems. They help you understand what leads to life. Okay, what leads to life? But the problem is, that many people believe that this is a new concept, but these people who indulge in morphogenetic fields, they deny. They say that, listen, we are not suggesting the existence of any new type of field. No, we are not saying that what we are doing is new. Rather, we are providing a new way of talking about complex physico-chemical systems. So again, morphogenetic field is not doing away with the traditional biology. It is just providing a new way. Okay, but then the author says this approach is unlikely to lead very far. Why? Because the concept of morphogenetic field can have practical value only if it leads to testable predictions, which it has not done. Okay, and that is why what happens? He tells you, if any organismic philosophy is to be accepted, it must be able to give rise to testable predictions. Unless you can test it, it will not be valid. So on the whole, he's trying to say that the orthodox biological theory that we have, where we look at things from the angle of physics and chemistry, that stands as of now. Different approaches have been made by different people, but all of them have failed. Based on this, he's asking you question number 4. Read the following statements. Okay. Which of the following statements will contradict organismic theory? Tell me, what will contradict organismic theory? Number D. Okay. Number D, 2 and 3. Okay. Why? Why do you say that? Why do you say number D? Number D means statement number 2 and statement number 3. A team is the sum total of all the members. Okay. 2 will support the theory. An ocean is nothing but accumulation of infinite drops of water. Now, please understand, according to the organismic theory, okay, according to the organismic theory, individual things are not important. Individual things are not important. It is the whole which is important. So in 2 and 3, you are talking about individual things. You are saying that the team is sum of the individual members and ocean is accumulation of individual drops of water. According to organismic theory, individual things are not valid. It is the whole that we need to look at. So yes, 2 and 3 both are contradicting the organismic theory. The 2 will not support. 2 will not support Damini. If had 2 said that the sum is what we need to study. The members, if it had not mentioned the members, then it would have been right. Okay. So yes, answer for this question should be D. Did you understand? Because in statement 2 and 3, we are talking about the individual members. Individual members make up the whole, whereas according to organismic theory, we don't need to look at individual members. We just need to look at the whole. Yes, number D is the answer for question number 4. Question number 5. Read the following statements. Which of the above statements is correct about morphogenetic fields? Very simple. Statement number 2 is correct. Morphogenetic fields can explain why organisms come into being. It talks about embryo and the development, what makes things come into existence. So only number 2, I think only number 2 will work. Statement number 1, morphogenetic fields are used to explain complex adaptive system. Can't say. We don't know for surety. Okay. Physicochemical elements can determine morphogenetic fields. Not true. Not true. This is not true. Why? Because if we go back, what does he tell you? He just tells you that morphogenetic field is not something new. It is just a new way of talking about complex physicochemical systems. It is just a new way. If it is a new way of talking about the complex physicochemical systems, does that automatically mean that physicochemical elements will determine more morphogenetic fields? No. So that is why answer for this question is 2. Okay. Yes. In number 2, Nikita, he does not say for sure. Let's go back. In number 2, morphogenetic fields can explain why organisms come into being. That is what morphogenetic field is. Yeah, I mean, he's saying these fields are supposed to help account for or describe the coming into being of the characteristic forms of embryos and other developing systems. So when he's using, they are supposed to help to account for. Okay, he's actually trying to say that morphogenetic fields are a claimant. This is what the morphogenetic field claims. Please understand, from the author's point of view, he's talking about the claims of the morphogenetic field. Okay. Now, when the author claims that people who indulge in the morphogenetic field, they talk about bringing something into life. Then the people who indulge in morphogenetic field, they reply that, listen, we are not talking about any new kind of thing. We are not talking about something which is radical or absolutely different. We are just talking about a new way of complex physico-chemical systems. That's it. So when he's using, they are supposed to help for. That is what the author. That information the author is giving us about morphogenetic fields. That is what morphogenetic fields do. That is the claim of the morphogenetic field. Okay, according to the author. So yes, it will be right. Number 2 will be right. Number 6. Question number 6. Which of the following statements is the most likely inference from the passage? What can we infer? Even though lots of other theories have appeared, the orthodox physical physico-chemical mechanism of biology, it actually still is prevalent. And he tells you any theory to be prevalent has to pass the test of refutability and falsification. So the implication automatically is the mechanistic theory has passed this test. That is why it is still standing. Absolutely. Question number 6. Okay, is this clear for all of you? Please take a look. All questions 1 to 6, we have done 2 passages. Anything you did not understand, anything that requires clarification, please ask. Okay, there's one more question. Yes, there's one more question from this passage. Which of the following statements, if true, can add scientific validity to morphogenetic fields? So, what can add scientific validity? If morphogenetic fields can show to have a huge impact, अगर impact दिखा सकते हैं हम, if we can show that there is an impact, then it will add scientific validity. Yes. So how will we show the impact of morphogenetic fields? Yes, I think number A should be the answer. When the withdrawal of morphogenetic fields stops dynamism in the physico-chemical elements of a tree. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Okay. Explain E. Okay. When the performance of one student can explain that of all others in the examination hall. It has nothing to do with morphogenetic fields, because morphogenetic field is about embryo and its development. Comparing performance of one student with the performance of others has nothing to do with embryo development or bringing something to life. So number E is not covered under the realm of morphogenetic fields. Number D, we can prove morphogenetic field when the brain can explain how the mind works. Of course not. Only when we come to know how life is created, how the brain works, the morphogenetic field is not concerned about it. Okay? Okay. All clear from 1 to 7? Yes. Then let's come to the next passage, questions 8 to 10. Now, this one was easy. He tells you because we cannot see around the bend of time, we cannot see what lies in the future except in our imaginations. That is why there is a lot of uncertainty. In everything that we do, there is uncertainty. All the mundane things we do, all the extraordinary things we do. Everywhere there is uncertainty. And every day we are building strategies to deal with this uncertainty, because our survival depends on being able to reasonably anticipate what will happen next. And we'll have to make reasonably accurate judgments about the likely effects of our own actions. Even though we cannot know for sure what is going to happen, but we actually develop strategies. Okay. Even though our ability to anticipate events is less than perfect, we don't know what is there in the future. Okay. So uncertainty is very basic to human life, and it influences the structure of every social institution. To deal with uncertainty, we to reduce uncertainty, we have the bureaus of meteorology. The meteorology department tries to tell us what the weather is going to be 5 days from now. So that reduces, to a certain extent, reduces uncertainty. In fact, it is uncertain whether in the future there is going to be destructive and unavoidable events. But to reduce the impact, we get insurance. So getting insurance, or creating a bureau of meteorology, all these are nothing but our strategies to deal with this uncertainty. Okay. So he tells you that when we come to politics, the decision of politics, whether they are about policies that are likely to produce desired outcomes, or which political messages will appeal to voters. So whenever any politician makes a policy, then now this policy can produce outcomes, or it can carry a message that will appeal to the voters. Okay, but the policies are nothing but series of experiments which are conducted without a very substantial evidence base. So again, whether this policy will pay off or not is uncertain. Is uncertain, and we have very less control. What is going to happen because of my policy? We are very uncertain. This is what he's trying to tell us. So there is uncertainty everywhere. There is uncertainty everywhere. That is what he's trying to say. And we have developed strategies to deal with this uncertainty. Based on this understanding, he's asking you question number 8. Which of the following quotes is farthest from the essence of the passage? Which is farthest? I think C. C is the farthest. It is precisely the uncertainty of this world that makes life possible. So our life is possible because of the uncertainty? Of course not. That is not what he says. He says that because there is uncertainty, we make certain strategies to deal with that uncertainty. Our life is possible because of uncertainty. That is wrong. Okay. Number D is right. Poverty with security is better than plenty in the midst of fear and uncertainty. This is right. Why this is right? This is what he's trying to say. Because future is uncertain, we try to secure it. We would always like to secure. We would like to make it uncertain, but we are unable to see the future. So if there is security, we will like that. That is why we get insurance. That is why we have the meteorology department. These are nothing but security, different forms of security. Poverty with security. So you know, poverty with security means that there is no uncertainty. Anything that reduces uncertainty, Nikita, we will like it. These humans will like it. That is what he's trying to say. Okay. So I think C should be the answer for question number 8. Damini, you want to mark B. What is farthest from the essence of the passage? If you forsake a certainty and depend on an uncertainty, you will lose both. That may not be possible. That is not always true. If you forsake an uncertainty and you depend on an uncertainty, then you will lose both. What is it trying to say? It is trying to say that something is certain. Okay. For example, it is certain that I will give you 100 rupees today. I may give you, it is uncertain, I may give you 200 rupees 1 year down the line. If you wait for 1 year, I may give you 200 rupees. Okay. The question is that this is uncertain because it is in the future. If let's say I select not to take the 100 rupees, then is it necessary that I will lose this 200 rupees also? Even though it is uncertain, but is it necessary that I will lose this 200 rupees also? No, there is a 50-50 chance. I may lose it, I may not lose it. Okay, so it can work both ways. But when you say you will lose both, so you are saying with 100% certainty that I will lose that future 200 rupees. I may or I may not. Okay. Okay. Any other doubt here? Number 9. Coming to question number 9. Which of the following examples best captures the essence of the passage? Now there is uncertainty. We will try to reduce the uncertainty as far as possible. Yes, number A. We will buy a house after collecting information about locality, price, and other details. So when we collect all this information, the uncertainty reduces. Absolutely. Number A is the answer for question number 9. Very good. Any other option you think can be right? Okay, then let's come to question number 10. Okay, Satyam, you want to check C. You sail in a new yacht all alone in the deep sea on a dark night. Okay, but then it is uncertain. You sail in a new yacht all alone in the deep sea on a dark night. There is no certainty where you are going. You have not made adequate provisions. You are all alone. So provisions bhi nahi banaya. So you are increasing the uncertainty. Anything that increases the uncertainty is going to be wrong. Okay. Okay. Question number 10. Which of the following political actions is most likely to produce favorable outcomes? Now he told us He told us that politicians, whenever you make any policy with 100% certainty, you cannot say what is going to be the outcome. But just ask yourself, which of these actions, okay, will make it more certain for people to vote for you? Uncertainty reduce कौन सा करेगा? A, yes. If you provide subsidized food every day and across constituencies to attract voters, will these voters not, there is less uncertainty that these voters will not vote for you. So there is more certainty. There is more certainty that they will vote for you. Okay? Please understand, because you are doing it on an everyday basis and you are doing it across constituencies. So you are more connected to the voters. So there is, you are reducing the uncertainty of they not voting to you or not voting for you. So you are making it more certain. You are making it more certain why voters will vote for you. Number C, if you nominate candidates along caste lines, it is a one-time thing that you are doing. It is a one-time thing that you are doing. Okay. Now, problem is that if you nominate candidates along caste lines, then a certain caste will vote for you, but not everybody will vote for you. So uncertainty थोड़ा सा कम reduce हुआ. Whereas in number A, you are attracting voters of all communities and castes and shapes and sizes, males, females, children, everybody. So there is more certainty of, it is more likely to produce favorable outcomes. Okay. Number D, if you implement a new and radical tax regime, so a tax, will people, do people like paying taxes? That is human nature. So if you actually introduce a tax regime, then they may not favor you. They may not vote for you. Uncertainty can increase. Some people may like the new taxes, some people may not like the new taxes. Okay? Did you understand? Number E also, you provide generous compensation to victims after any natural calamity. So when you provide compensation, you are compensating just the victims. So yes, the victims or the victims' families may probably vote for you. But what about others? So the most spread favorable impact, from where are you going to get the most favorable impact? If you spread out what you are doing over many people. So in number E, yes, the victims and the families will probably vote for you, but what about the remaining population? So more number of people in number A will vote for you, so there is more certainty of you getting a favorable outcome. Did you understand? Okay. And you must have you must have noticed that they give you lots of application based questions. Yes or no? They give you lots of application based questions. Every single passage will have at least one application based question. So unless you very thoroughly understand the passage, it becomes difficult. Excuse me. Okay. So this is the answer for 10. 10 is A. Now we will come to question number 11. Our next passage, question number 11 to 13. What is he saying? At first view, when you at first see, then it seems that nothing is unbounded than the thought of man. Unbounded means limitless. It seems to us that our thoughts are limitless. We can think whatever we want. There is no restraints. Thought पे कोई restraints नहीं होता. That is what we believe. We can form monsters in our thoughts. We can join incongruous shapes and appearances. We can conceive the most natural and familiar objects. So it seems to us that our thoughts are limitless. Okay. However, but he tells you, however, though our thoughts seem to possess the unbounded liberty. We will find when you closely examine it that your thoughts actually are really confined within very narrow limits. And all this creative power of the mind, it is nothing but compounding, transposing, augmenting, or diminishing the materials afforded to us by the senses and experience. So it seems that your thoughts are limitless, but in reality, all this creativity that comes to your mind, you're only what you're doing is that you're working with a material that you already are aware of. You are working with the material that is in your mind through your senses and experiences. Because when you think of a golden mountain, then remember you are joining two consistent ideas, gold and mountain. So you first have to know gold and you have to know mountain. Only then you can think of a golden mountain. You can think of a virtuous horse only because you understand what is virtue and you know what is a horse. Only when you know what is virtue and horse, then you talk about a virtuous horse. Okay. He tells you. He tells you in short, all the materials of thinking are derived either from our outward or inward sentiment. Please understand. Okay. So all our ideas are nothing but they are feeble perceptions or copies of our impressions. And to prove this, he gives you two examples. He gives you two examples, two arguments. First, the first example is if you analyze your thought may seem to be very sublime and compounded. But when you analyze your thought, you will find that your thoughts will actually convert into such simple ideas that are copied from a precedent feeling or sentiment. When you actually analyze it, you will see that your ideas are actually simple ideas that have been copied from something which you already know. Okay? For example, you take the idea of God. You believe God is very intelligent, wise, and good. Okay? God is very, intelligent, wise, and good. So, but actually, what happens? You know the concept of intelligent, wise, and good. Okay? So, why are we talking about God being intelligent, wise, and good? Because these are concepts. These qualities of goodness and wisdom is something that is in our mind. It is in our own mind. So we may argue whatever we want to argue. We may argue that whatever we want to argue, but we will always find that every idea which we examine is copied from a similar impression. That means because we know goodness and wisdom, that is why we are talking about God being wise and good. Okay, so that is why he's telling you. That is why he's telling you if if you want to prove this wrong, if you want to prove this wrong, then produce an idea. Produce an idea which is not derived from your experience or sense. Produce it. If you can produce it, then we will show you. Then it will be incumbent on us. We will show you that, listen, your new idea is nothing but it is an impression. It is an impression of something that you already know. This is the first argument. The second argument is that the moment your organ is defective, if you have a defective organ, and if a person is not susceptible to any species of sensation, if a person does not have any sensation, then you will find that that person will not have that idea at all. So what does this mean? This means that it is your sense which gives you the idea. So if you are a blind man, you cannot have any idea of colors. If you're a deaf person, you have no idea about sounds. The moment you restore these senses, the moment you restore these senses, you open an inlet for the ideas. That person who has the senses, he will find no difficulty in conceiving of these objects. Okay? So it is your sense which creates ideas. A Laplander or a Negro has no notion of wine. What is wine? They don't know. Okay, Laplander is actually a tribe. Okay, so a Laplander or a Negro, okay, Laplander or a Negro does not have any notion of wine. They don't know anything about wine because they have never sensed it. They have never sensed it. Similarly, a man who has mild manners cannot form the idea of inveterate revenge or cruelty. Why? Because in his sense and in his experience, he's not cruel. Similarly, if you are a selfish person in your experience and you know in your senses, you don't know about friendship and generosity. So other beings, other people may possess many of the senses of which we have no conception. But then if we don't have a particular sense, then we cannot form a particular idea. Because ideas, ideas can only happen by because of feeling and sensation. So this is very, very simple thought. Okay. It is a thought that is stated by lots of philosophers. Lots of philosophers say the same thing, that everything that comes to your mind, everything that you see and everything that you do is is actually based on your sensations and feelings. Based on this, if it is clear, anything you do not understand, based on this, he's asking you question number 11. A radical idea is very different from an existing idea. Which of the following is the best representation of a radical idea? So, which is the best interpretation of a radical idea? It seems that A and E would be right. It seems that A and E would be right, but the problem is that A and E are saying the same thing. A and E are saying the same thing. Okay, how can number D? Please understand. It seems ऐसा लगता है कि A and E can be the answer because it is not related to any existing idea. It is independent of all current understanding and experience. That is what it seems. But then we cannot have two answers. Two answers तो हो ही नहीं सकता. We cannot have two answers. Which mean because A and E are saying the same thing, they cannot be the answers. Number D cannot be the answer because if you are combining and multiplying two closely related radical ideas, then how can it be a radical idea? Because these two closely related things are things which you already know. So it is not possible. It is not possible. If any idea is closely related to the previous idea, it is not radical. It is an existing idea. Answer for this question should be C. A radical idea will be called radical if it is an offshoot from an extant idea and it transcends it substantially. Okay. For example, you know a horse. You know a horse. And to make it a radical idea, now this is something which you already know. This is known to you. To make it a radical idea, you also know the concept of fly. This is also known. So you work with the known things, and then you create a Pegasus. You know what is a Pegasus? The flying horse. The flying horse. Yes or no? So the flying horse is Pegasus. So what do you do? What do you do? There is an extant idea. Extent का मतलब existing ideas of fly and horse. You take them and you create an idea which is absolutely transcending. It is absolutely different. It has no relation to flying and horse. It's absolutely something new. Okay. So I think C should be the answer. Even though they could have given us better options, but from the options that we have, I think C is the best answer. Did you understand this? Okay. 12. Going by the passage, which of the following sayings would be definitely true? What will be definitely true? I think number C should be the answer. History may repeat itself. No, history will always repeat itself, can't say. If you, for example, he tells you somebody may produce an idea. Somebody may produce an idea that is not linked to your already known senses and experience. So it's not always necessary that history will repeat. Tomorrow, somebody may come with an idea which is absolutely new. Okay, so yes, there's a huge chance that history may repeat itself, but you cannot say with 100% guarantee that this will always happen. All right. Question number 13. A company wants to hire an accounting assistant who will be assisting in the preparation of accounting statements. Which of the following candidates will be best suited? Because accounting statements have to be produced or prepared, that is why a commerce degree student, because a person who is a commerce degree, he already has experience. Okay, he has sensed accounts, he has experience with accounts. And that is why I think B is the best answer for question number 13. Till now, anybody has any question? Anybody has any doubt, please stop me and ask. We are in no rush. Yes, but when you solve that paper, when you solve that paper, the kind of language that they use, I think if you start solving, if you solve 6, 7 papers, you will see substantial improvement in your understanding. Yes or no? Okay. Question number 14. Read the following argument and answer the question that follows. Most of mobile phone users are males. Therefore, mobile phone manufacturers should not bother making mobile phones targeted at females. The above argument is parallel to same argument किसमें है? Mobile phone users are males. So what does it tell you? Don't make mobile phones. Don't make mobile phones for a particular category. So we have to have a similar argument. Okay, so don't make mobile phones. What do you think? Number D. Yes, number D. So most people they use Windows or OS. So don't create compatible other products compatible with operating systems. Yes, number D is absolutely right. I think answer should be D. Please tell me if you have any doubt. Anybody who's not been able to solve, please explain B. Okay. But problem is that number B is not parallel. Software engineer wear glasses. So make glasses. So do something targeting the software engineers. But यहाँ तो था कि don't do. In the original argument, it was don't make mobile phones. In number B, you are saying create advertisements, do it. Okay. Number C, same thing happens. Make helmets. Make helmets. So you're asking somebody to actually do it. So all this will not work. Okay. Question number 15. Read the following paragraph carefully and answer the question that follows. The new manual telephone exchanges required fast, accurate switching. Considerable discipline, but most importantly, the operator also needed to briefly speak and interact with customers. The managers quickly came to view young women as more articulate, polite, and more likely to follow instructions than male operators. Okay, now assuming the above paragraph to be true, which of the following statements will logically follow the above paragraph? Tell me, if women are more articulate, polite, and they will follow instructions in comparison to male operators, then yes, number B. Moreover, male operators are also likely to be abused by disgruntled customers when technology malfunctions. So this is another reason why women, because we're talking about women being more suitable for this job, number B extends that thought and tells us that yes, another reason why male operators should not be there and females should be there, because male operators, they are likely to be abused. Absolutely. Okay. Number 16. E also, okay. Moreover, female operators would find it easy to strike a conversation with customers. यहाँ तक तो ठीक है. But females will be less effective in transferring the calls from one customer to other. So if females are less effective, will you prefer the females? No, no. If females would be less effective in the job, in the main job, will you hire them? Tell me. So in this passage, he's telling you that it is better that we get young women to operate these telephone exchanges because they are articulate, they are polite, and they will follow instructions. So after that, he's telling you which statement will logically follow the above paragraph. What will follow? That means you have to continue in the same direction. You have to give me reasons why women should be preferred. Number D tells me why women should not be preferred. If women are less effective, why will you prefer them? Okay. Number 16. Read the paragraph and answer the question. Now he says, if a historian asserts that one historical event caused another, it is going to be nearly impossible. No historian can say that one historical event caused another event. Because any coherent historical narrative, okay? Any coherent historical narrative, the sequence of events makes the notion of causation a tempting trap. If you believe that A happened before B, A happened prior to B, that does not necessarily mean that B happened because of A. That does not necessarily mean that A was the cause and B was the effect. It may be the effect or it may not be the effect. It's not 100% true. Okay? It tells you a subsequent event can seem a necessary outcome of those that preceded it. But it's not always true. So don't fall in that trap. Don't fall in that trap. If an effect has happened, that does not mean that you'll automatically look, you would have a backward looking perspective. You would look for certain things prior to it. No. That one event did in fact happen and other events did in fact happen prior to it does not make the subsequent event inevitable or a direct outcome of those that went before. Okay, so it is not necessary. It's not necessary that one event caused the other event. Based on this, what do you think? Which of the following best captures the essence of the above paragraph? Historians should not predict future outcomes based on preceding events. No, not exactly. He's saying that it is not always certain that an effect has happened because of a prior cause. So when you say historians should not predict future outcomes based on preceding events, you are assuming that all effects Everything that has happened till now, you should not look at prior causes. No, B is also not right. She's not cheating. Where is the cheating? Answer for this question should be E. No, answer should be E. Why? If you link events, if a historian links events, then it can at best be taken as plausible. What is the meaning of plausible? Plausible means may be possible. Plausible means may be possible, and there's also a 50% chance that it may not be possible. It may not be possible. See, I've told you what is the difference. In fact, in one class, we discussed this. What is the difference between plausible and possible? I think we discussed this. Yes or no? What is the difference between possible and plausible? Plausible means what? Looks possible. Looks possible, but may be wrong. So there is less certainty. Okay. Whereas when you say something is possible, there is more certainty. There is more certainty in it. Same thing happens with implausible. Implausible is the opposite. Implausible का मतलब होता है it looks impossible, but may be possible. And impossible has more certainty. When you say something is impossible, you are certain that it cannot be done. Remember this. So when he's saying, the moment he says that whenever a historian links events, then you should take it as plausible. Take it as plausible means don't blindly believe in it. It's possible that he's right, and it's possible that he may be wrong. Okay. Did you understand? Is this clear for you? Okay. So yes, E is the answer. Number 17 is time and finally. What is the relationship between time and family? Finally, find out the same relationship. Time and finally, they are synonyms. In time, you will do it. That means finally, you will do it. Eventually, you will do it. They are synonyms. The relationship is that of synonyms. Yes. So answer is going to be however. Just a minute. What is the relationship? The relationship is that of synonyms. Okay. Just give me a minute. Okay, I'll just be back. Okay, your question was how is the time and finally? How are they synonyms? Okay? Okay. Don't you say in time in time he will understand. In time he will understand things. That means eventually, finally he will understand things. Okay? So in that sense, time and finally they are synonyms, and that is why contrast and however, that is the best relationship over here. Okay. Let's come to the next question. 18. Sorcery is the soft fool's spoon over failure to hide the flavor of their own incompetence. So when somebody wants to hide their incompetence, then what do? they actually try to fool people with their antics, with their tricks. So which of the following is analogous? Tell me, which of the following is analogous? I think no, B. It is so simple. B. The manager who could not himself think outside the box. There is a manager who could not do a particular task. He could not think outside the box. So he's criticizing anybody who can think outside the box. What is sorcery? Sorcery is nothing but you are hiding your own incompetence. So in number B, why is number B analogous? Because this manager, because he did not have the competence to think outside the box, that is why he's criticizing the subordinate who can think outside the box. So he is hiding his incompetence. Number E is not right. The manager criticized his boss on the lapses in managing the project that resulted in losses to the company. So in number E, Nikita, you are actually not hiding your incompetence. The manager has criticized the boss because of something wrong that the boss has done. Where is the incompetence here? Where is the incompetence of the manager? Okay. No, but please understand. The manager criticized the boss on the lapses in managing the project. So the manager is, see, he is the manager. He has probably delegated the authority to someone else. Even if, please understand over here, what we need to know, we don't know whether the person who is managing the project is the manager or the boss. It's possible that the manager is above the boss. He has delegated the authority to the boss. Isn't that possible? Plus, plus, if for number E to be analogous, we would have to prove that the manager himself could not manage the project, and to hide this fact, he criticized the boss. Because you need to hide because you need to hide your incompetence. That this is important. This is very important. Okay. Okay. Coming to 19. Question number 19. Those dash do not like us. Those who or whom do not like us. Those कौन है? Those are, we are talking about people who are the subjects. Subjects because it's a subject to whom तो हो ही नहीं सकता. One is gone. Those who do not like us dash the society respects. So the society respects these people. The society respects these people means they are respected by society. Whom the society respects, because now the subject is the society. Okay, number B is gone. Whom the society respects, whose power the society fears. So we need WHOSC. Whose power? This is also gone. So we are left with two options, C and D. Whose power the society fears. For after all, who is funding? Who means who is funding? Both are correct. Who is funding the elections? Are walking into the trap. So we need a word over here which means inside. We need a word which means inside. They're walking inside the trap, and that is into. Into means inside. Into is something else. Okay. I went in to talk. So you went in to do what? You went in. So this describes what you wanted to do. You went in, अंदर गया, but you went in for some purpose. This was the purpose. So when in and to they are separate, then you describe the verb and you describe the purpose. Whereas into is the preposition over here. is the preposition over here. It is in the sense of inside. So you walk inside the trap. You cannot walk in to the trap laid by the devil. Did you walk into the trap? No, you walk into the trap. And that is why C also is not right. Answer for this question is E. Okay? Okay. Number 20. Question number 20. Which of the following statements is grammatically correct? Number one is wrong. The moment you say as an example, by the way of example, you are saying you are saying that this powerful tradition, okay, this powerful tradition set an example. When you say by the way of example or as an example, then you are saying that the powerful tradition set an example. The powerful tradition did not set an example. The powerful tradition is an example. So A is wrong. B also is wrong. Did you understand? You are giving the example of a powerful tradition. Please understand. The powerful tradition did not set an example. You are giving the example of a powerful tradition. That is why A and D are wrong. People who marked A and D. Let's see. What are the other difficulties in other options? Number B क्या बोलता है? One powerful tradition, for example, insisted that the great temple of Jupiter on the Capitol Hill, a building, comma, that, comma, after the word that we don't use comma, so it is gone. After the word that we don't use comma. If we had used another word, which, after the word which we use comma. After the word that we don't use comma. So this is gone. Okay. Number C also will go because it says one powerful tradition, for example, insisted that the great temple of Jupiter on the Capitoline Hill. What is Capitoline Hill? A building that came to be a major symbol of Roman power. This tradition was later replicated in many Roman cities abroad and is missing and was dedicated in the very first year of the new regime. So we need an and here somewhere. Number C is wrong. Answer for this question is E. There's nothing wrong here. It says one powerful tradition, for example, insisted that the great temple of Jupiter on the Capitoline Hill, a building that came to be a major symbol of Roman power and was later replicated in many Roman cities abroad, was dedicated in the very first year of the new regime. So this entire portion, यहाँ से लेकर यहाँ तक, this entire portion becomes a description of the Capitoline Hill. That is why before this word was, we don't need an and. We don't need an and. Okay, because in this case, in number C, this was the description, and then there's a comma. So here also we did not require an and, but when you come to the second was, you require an and. Why you require an and? Because this portion that comes here, it is not a modifier. It's deciding that building. Answer for question number 20 should be E. Please check. Question number 21. Read the following statements and arrange the statements in the best logical sequence. What do you think? Yes, A. This one was very easy. Power is a generic term which must be distinguished from more specific term authority. Power is generic. Okay. In fact, this statement is the most generic statement. Power is a generic term and it must be distinguished from a specific term authority. Okay. When Party A gets Party B to do what Party B would not otherwise have done, then Party A has exercised power. He tries to prove you what is power. Now he says power can take many forms and it appears variously in the histories of Alexander the Great and his time. Because Alexander the Great is mentioned first, so number one has to come before five. Alexander the Great is the complete title. After that, we have Alexander. Alexander enjoyed military power and delegated a portion of it to his general Antipater. He in turn, he is Antipater. He in turn used the coercive power afforded to him by his army in Greece to install friendly governments and forestall concerted action against Macedonia. Absolutely. Absolutely. Answer for 21 should be A. No doubt about it. Right. Now we come to the poem, and this also was very easy. He's telling you should sit near someone who has experience. Okay? Because when you walk into the market, there are lots of people selling lots of things. People will give conflicting advice. But don't be drawn in by fakes. You are looking for someone who has experience. You have to guard yourself. Don't start, following somebody who is a fake. People will try to sell you lots of things. People will give you conflicting advice. But you should go towards kindness. If you go towards kindness, you will not be drawn in by fakes. Because the fakes will take your money, they will ask you to sit down and then they will not come back. They will leave you. So don't go. Don't go to them. Don't go and have a meal with the fakes. You need to be able to differentiate between people who have experience and people who are fakes. Because not every reed is a sugar cane and not every under has an over. You will need to differentiate. Okay? Not every eye can see, or it may be you cannot thread the needle because it already has thread in it. So you cannot thread the needle means you cannot add something to it because some people already have so much experience. So how will you know who has experience and who is a fraud, who is a fake? Your alertness is the lantern. Okay, you have to be alert. You need to keep it protected from the wind. You need to be always alert. Don't let the wind blow away your alertness. Okay? Instead of living in commotion, live in calmness. Be a helpful friend. Become like a green tree, always giving new fruits. That is how you will always travel deeper. You will have deeper journeys into love. So this man is asking you to go after experience, to stay away from fakes. And how can you reach experience? How can you reach experience? By staying alert, by staying away from fakes. The fakes will lure you. The fakes will lure you. They will try to, entice you, but you have to stay alert. Very simple. Based on this, question 22. Which of the following is the closest description of the person with experience? A person with experience will be somebody who is not a fake, I think. That is the closest. Yes or no? Have you not attempted this? Okay. A person who has drunk tea from many cups. Okay. But Nikita, he has actually told you that don't just start drinking from every cup that you come across. In fact, he mentions this. You will have to be choosy. People who are selling essences, you have to be alert. They may be fakes. They may be fakes. This is also mentioned. This is also mentioned. Okay. So the best answer is that you have to find out a person who is not a fake. People who sell essences, people who ask you to drink tea, you have to be alert. They may be fakes. So 22 answer should be E. Okay. Question number 23. Which of the following options is closest to the central meaning of this poem? Which is central meaning? How to look for wisdom, how to get to experience and wisdom. Absolutely, answer is A. Okay. How will you look for wisdom? How will you look for experience? By staying away from fakes. By staying away from fakes. Okay. How to spot the fakes, how to avoid distractors. This is how these are steps you will take in order to reach wisdom, in order to reach experience. Your ultimate goal is to reach experience. And when you're trying to reach experience, there are going to be some hindrances. There are going to be distractors and fakes. So the central meaning of the poem is not to talk about fakes and distractors. These are just hindrances in your journey towards wisdom and experience. So that is why B and D are not right. Okay. Number C, how to journey gently. But where? Journey where? This is incomplete. Journey where? Journey towards heaven? Journey towards another world? Or journey towards experience or wisdom? So number C is incomplete. Okay? Did you understand why answer is A, 23? Okay, the next one was para number 24. This also was again very easy, I think. Uh, I think you start with 3. There are 2 types of situations in elemental geometry. Okay. Um, yes, I think B is the answer. In the first, we have some given objects of geometry, such as points, lines, and triangles with some prescribed properties. This is the first situation. Okay. The second situation is a sort object. We, you know, so the moment you know it is 342, number C is also working. Number C also has 342. So after you look at number 2, then you'll have to see whether 5 will come first or 1 will come. Okay, 5 will come first because in number 1, when he says this is the first result, the word this refers to whatever he's saying in number 5. Yes, answer is B for 24. 25. Read the paragraph and answer the question that follows. Then there is little or no elite dissent from a government policy. So even though nobody is disagreeing with the government, there may still be some disagreement. We need a word like disagreement. Okay, we need a word like disagreement. Some people may have disagreement. So dissent is possible and leakage is possible. Others are not possible. Others are not possible. Okay, so there can be dissent, there can be leakage in the mass media. Okay, now because he's talking about mass media, even though there is no disagreement from a government policy, there can be some dash in the mass media. That means I think the word should be leakage. Mass media में leakage ही होगा ना? And the facts which tend to dash the government line. Those facts, because we are talking about dissent, these facts with undermine the government line. They will not bolster. If they were bolstering the government's line, then we are not talking about disagreement at all. Immediately C is gone. Our answer is number D. Leakage and undermine should be the answer. Okay. Number 25. And then we come to the last question for today, number 26. Frere and Keats. Frere and Keats, they meet, they have coffee and cake. They are 2 perplexed souls. Okay. Frere is confused and distraught. Okay. According to him, these are turbulent times. Why are we humans leaving an indelible impact on nature? Do we realize the damage that technology is bringing into being? Where is the critical consciousness? That is what Freud thinks. Now, Keats also is saying the same thing. His lamentations, that means he laments about the world's obsession with scientism. So he also says that the world is obsessed with science, but he does not stop there. He does not stop there. He says that we are so involved with science that we have stopped enjoying things. We look at everything from a scientific angle. We have stopped enjoying things. We have stopped having creativity. Okay, creativity is gone now. And he is confused. He believes that paradise is lost. From the above paragraph, which of the following can be definitely concluded? What can we definitely conclude? Both of them are, yes, both of them are concerned about the excessive use of science. Absolutely. I think number E is the correct answer. Number B, Keats has something to do with critical consciousness. Okay, Keats has something to do with critical consciousness. Can't say. It is Freire who has something to do with critical consciousness. Number B is wrong. It's not Keats, it's Freire. Excessive, तभी तो बोल रहे हैं ना. That is why they are perplexed. That is why they are distraught. That is why they were distraught. Okay. Okay. Now your question is number D, Nikita. Both of them were concerned about impact of humans. Impact of humans, yes. On nature, no. No, it's not just nature. It is on your creativity also. It is on your enjoyment also. Okay. Okay, but this is one part. We can conclude this. This is one part what? Both of them were concerned about impact of humans on nature. Are they? Are they? In fact, Keats does not talk about anything about nature. He just says that we have, because we are so obsessed with science, that we have stopped enjoying things. So Keats does not talk at all about our impact on nature. I don't think number D is right. I don't think. Okay. Keats talks about paradise lost. Yes, paradise lost. So in what sense is he talking about paradise? Paradise in the sense that we humans, we used to enjoy things. We used to be creative. But because of science, we have lost this enjoyment. We have lost this creativity. Okay. Now somebody asked me what is the cutoff. I told you the cutoff remains this paper. I think the cutoff would be somewhere around 11. Cutoff remains in the range of 9 to 11 almost every year. Okay, cutoff remains generally in the range of 9 to 11. Please take a look. Please check if there is anything you did not understand, anything that requires clarification. Please ask. Okay. Now in the evening we'll have decision making class at 9 o'clock. Okay. So if there are no queries here, so we'll log off.
Music.